Hey, good morning, Edmonton. I know it's really early right now. It's 7 o'clock in the morning if you're watching live. And I'm actually coming to you live from New York, and that is why I'm on here so early. I'm here for a conference workshop type thing and wanted to still pop on here and give you an update of what's happening in Edmonton's real estate market. So I am interested to see what's going on, and today's episode won't be as long as my normal episodes that I have been doing. This will be more in timing of the older episodes, just because I am here in New York, and next week we'll be back on our regular schedule. So if you have any questions and comments for me, make sure to leave them in the comments so that I can answer them. If I don't have time today, I'll answer them for sure next week. Today we're going to talk to you about how many listings. Now, this is interesting from week to week. We haven't changed a whole lot, actually. We've only had 3 new listings in terms of getting more. Now, don't forget, when I talk about new listings, they're not new listings. These are how many listings are currently on the market. There maybe have X amount of listings come on the market, but then X amount sold. And so it left us with the net of the 3 properties that are more than last week. In St. Albert, we had 147, so just slightly more than the week before. Same as Sherwood Park. Spruce Grove stayed about the same, and Beaumont had 2 less. So that doesn't mean they haven't had new listings. I've seen lots of new listings come up, but I've also seen them get snatched up by buyers because the rates are starting to come down. Buyers need to buy. It's moving into this typical spring market. It is February. This is now the time people are starting to look to buy traditionally anyways. A lot of people tried to beat the market, and they created a spring market that came earlier. And with our weather, it is also helping in terms of making people realize, hey, maybe I won't have to move in -50 because realistically, we are on the upside. Now, if you live in Edmonton, you know that we get like 5 false springs all the time. So beware of that as well. Now, if you take a look at the pending sales in Edmonton in the last week, look at the jump we saw last week. I told you the numbers are going up, and they took a while to get reflected. But here it is, 231 pending sales in the last 7 days. And that is a big jump from the week before at 167. Last week, when I saw the 167, I thought that just doesn't seem to be reflecting what we are seeing in the pace of the market and temperature we're seeing from other agents that are talking about things. So numbers are up. This is not counting new home sales. This is only counting resale properties that are being reported on MLS. So keep that in mind as well. The new build market is moving fast and furious as well. The prices are going up, and you're seeing multiple offers with some builders. Now in St. Albert, numbers are pretty similar: Sherwood Park, Spruce, and Beaumont. Now, why is that number similar and the other ones aren't? Keep in mind, St. Albert, Sherwood Park, Spruce, and Beaumont have limited amount of listings available to be purchased. And so there's not going to be a whole lot of extra sales when there's not a whole lot of options. Where you see in Edmonton, there's more. Now, more is very little still. If you think about the pre-pandemic days, that number is actually quite low in the number of listings, but the number of pending sales, that's really interesting because this is not what we have seen in prior years. So if you take a look at the sold in the last 7 days, you can take a look. Oh, this number wasn't updated. Sold in the last 7 days, we take a look at 171 properties that sold. So see, this last week, we saw 231 go pending. So next week, we will see this number jump in the 200s because of 231 pending sales, I would say most would go through. There are still some falling apart because of things found in inspection. Maybe their financing didn't go through. We're seeing that still happen as well. But this number is reflective of last week's pending. Last week's pending, we had 167, and then we had 171 sell in this last 7 days. Now, if you compare it to the week before, it's 153. Now, if you look at St. Albert, Sherwood Park, and Spruce and Beaumont, again, very similar numbers, nothing too out of the ordinary. Take a look at last year. Last year, we had a very sleepy start to the year, and we are at 171 versus 154 last year at this time, same week area. Now, wait till we see the numbers next week. I actually can't wait to talk about next week's numbers because that will be reflective. I want to see what we were at last year at this time and next week, because it's going to be, I think, a bigger contrast. I think what we're going to start seeing is a bigger contrast in terms of the spread. we're going to see a bigger spread because last year's first quarter was a lot slower than this year's first quarter. Sorry about all the noise if you're hearing it. I tried to find a quiet corner, but apparently this is not that quiet. Now, if you take a look at St. Albert, Spruce Grove, and Sherwood Park, those numbers, like St. Albert, we're seeing 17 versus 7. So that's a pretty drastic change in St. Albert. Sherwood Park, 16 versus 13. Sherwood Park, just so you know, has always been a steady market, no matter if the market has been up or down in Edmonton or just in general. Sherwood Park's always stays the same. So that's why I'm not surprised to see their numbers not vary from year over year. Spruce Grove is a little lower than it was last year. I do suspect to see Spruce's numbers continue to increase because Spruce is more affordable than these other suburbs I'm telling you about, St. Albert, Sherwood Park, and Beaumont. And so we're starting to see more people move into the Spruce Grove area because of the affordability rate. And it's very close to Edmonton. If you look on a map, it might seem far because you've got the highway there, but Spruce Grove is actually not that far. It's 10 minutes from west to west, or from the west part of Edmonton to the east. Is that even right? The east part of Spruce Grove. I'm so directionally challenged. So what we're seeing in Edmonton is no big surprise in terms of what is happening in the real estate market. Things are moving quickly. If you are listing a home, you're definitely going to be seeing what you want to see in terms of numbers. So if you have any questions about this, tune in next week. I'm going to head off because I'm standing on my knees giving you this report, and I'm not that young anymore. Standing on your knees kind of hurts. So thanks so much for watching, guys. And I appreciate you guys, the ones that came on live. Talk to you guys next week.